Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. And I'm using Pretty Perennials, just the stamp set, not the dies this time. And I'm using the Sentiment Thank You from Happy Thoughts. For paper, I'm using the True Love Designer Series paper. I'm using two pieces. This one is 1.5 inches by 5, and this one is 1/2 inch by 5. I have a piece of white, which is 5 1/4 by 1.5. I have a piece of black, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And I have my card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I'm going to be using a lot of inks because it's a rainbow. And let's move this so I don't accidentally get ink on anything. I have Pear Pizzazz, Bermuda Bay, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Real Red, Magenta Madness, and Gorgeous Grape. Okay. I'm also using Memento. And then I have some gems here for the centers of the flowers. They're not Stampin' Up! Gems because I have a whole box of black gems and I couldn't justify buying them. I have to use what I have. Okay. I'm also going to need to use the wet glue. And let's get started. First thing I'm going to do, let's just move these aside. I'm going to use this stamp. Open up my cleaner so I can clean them easily. And I'm going to start with a Gorgeous Grape. And it's not in Roy G. Biv order, it's just an order I just picked one. So I'm going to start over here and I'm going to stamp the purple one. And I almost forgot I need to stamp my sentiment, so let's do that first. So it's the thank you from the Happy Thoughts set. I'm going to stamp that down here towards the bottom. Perfect. Okay. Now I need to clean my stamp. And let's bring in Magenta Madness. Make sure it's dry. Okay, and we're going to stamp it with Magenta Madness. I'm going to turn it a little bit. Stamp it right here. Okay, clean my stamp. Make sure it's dry. And I'm going to go in with Real Red. And I'm going to stamp that one. Clean my stamp. Make sure it's dry. Go in with a Daffodil Delight. Clean my stamp. Same thing over and over. Now I'm going to do Pumpkin Pie. Don't think I'm turning it enough, but that's alright. And then Bermuda Bay. All right. Now I'm going to come in with this stamp and the Pear Pizzazz. I'm going to add some leaves. Some of them will hang off. Okay. Now the rest of the stamping is done with the memento. I'm going to take this one, the little spots. I'm just going to stamp some spots. Kind of fill in a little bit in between the flowers. Okay. And I'm going to come in with this loopy kind of flower one. And I'm going to stamp over the top of these. You might not have to. It kind of looks pretty the way it is. And try to find the way it lines up. Doesn't line up perfectly, that's alright. That's that loopy one there. There we go. That way. Okay. And then we're going to take the outline one for the leaves and do the same thing. Okay, that's all the stamping. Alright, now we can assemble the card. We're going to bring in our 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of black, and we're going to secure that to the front of the card. Center it up 3 sides. Let's set it down. Okay, then we're going to bring the 1 1/2 by 5 inch piece of the designer series paper. You could use either side. Either side would look good, but I'm using the floral side. And we're going to line it up with, so there's an equal margin around the bottom and the 2 sides. And we're going to take the little 1/2 inch strip. We're going to line it up with the top, leaving that same margin. Okay. And we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Oops. Stay on the paper. There you go. Okay, push in those dimensionals to release the paper. Push in. Okay, center this up right inside there. Okay, now we're going to bring in our glue. And we're going to just put a little dot of glue in the center of each one of these flowers. Just the tiniest little one. And the reason I'm doing them all like this is because that gives it a little bit time to dry a little bit and get tacky, as it makes them stick a little bit better. And I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool, my little gems. Turning them over might help. The ones in the catalog have the sticky on the back of them, would make it much easier. Like I said, I couldn't justify, and I have a whole box of black gems. Oops, come on, stay stuck. One more. Alright, there you go. There's the card we just made together. And here's the one I did previously. Now on this one, I actually have layers behind these, but I felt it would be much easier to do this way. And it looks a little bit neater too. Well, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. I hope you can find a little time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. And thanks for joining me today. Have a great one.